Why do you think people keep getting the 60-second micro talk wrong?
Wow. The pitch, the infomercial, the 60-second elevator talk. Why do I think they get it wrong? Simple, really. They're not taught how to get it right, I suppose, is the shortest and quickest answer. When you're in business, and when people first hear about elevator pitches, and you can get all sorts of things on the internet, you can read about manuals, all sorts of stuff talking about getting your pitch right, this is what you've got to do. People end up defining their pitch as one generic 30 to 60 second statement that's meant to try and attract a conversation or trying to create some sort of attraction that you're going to take that pitch to the next step. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way, because most people come up with a very generic pitch, which fundamentally the reaction out there is because once you've heard that pitch 2 or 3 times, particularly in a regular meeting, you turn off. And in a lot of meetings, that's the core element of member engagement. Seriously? If you can't get that right, you miss out on a lot of things. And one of the primary things you miss out on is the fundamental opportunity to generate genuine, organic referrals simply by doing it correctly.
So why do you think the 60-second pitch is so significant?
Whenever we meet people for the first time, it's really interesting. What's one of the first things we ask? Hi, how are you? My name's so-and-so. What do you do for a living? Particularly when you're in a business networking situation. Actually, when you think about it, it also happens a lot in social situations. You meet somebody who's a stranger and it simply becomes a case of, hi, haven't seen you here before. What do you do for a living? And then people go out with their, what I call the snore value proposition, where they go, oh, I'm an accountant, I do blah, 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 blah. Now, to be quite honest, and I'm going to ask you, does that engage you? Do you actually go, oh wow, I want to find out more about this accountant or this lawyer because they're an accountant and a lawyer? Short answer is, you're not interested. You know, because we have a frame in our head already that says, I know what a lawyer does, I know what an accountant does. And people who do that or don't train themselves up properly on how to do their pitch, or what we call them business blasts in flow, if you don't get it right, you miss huge opportunities to relate with somebody, tell a real story which will be engaging, and actually create a massive amount of attraction which allows them to then ask the next question, oh, that's fascinating, or that's fantastic, I'd like to find out more. And that happens so rarely because most people pretty much get it wrong.
Can you help me with my pitch?
Of course. How would you like me to help you with your pitch?
Well, can you help me with my pitch? Does that require, do you offer courses, or how do you help me?
All right, well, firstly, all Flow members actually do a micro course right at the very beginning. As we call it, the Relationship Success Training. And it actually gives you the framework on how to get the greatest value out of your flow meeting. Out of that 2.5 hour training, I spend close to almost an hour to an hour and a half just on getting the pitch right. Now, I don't expect members to get everything right straight away, because you've got to unlearn a lifetime of doing it one particular way. But the reality is, if you want to get a different result, you've got to do something differently. And sometimes you need to actually learn and invest time into getting the steps right. Now, the fundamentals of getting your pitch right is, firstly, you need to identify that you're going to use a pitch on a regular basis, your business blast on a regular basis. And interestingly enough, for most businesses, every day. Every day you'll be asked, or you'll be in a social situation or a business situation or a networking situation where somebody will ask you, what do you do for a living? Notwithstanding the regular meetings or networks that you go to. So the need for it, that's a no-brainer. That's the foundation, first step. Second step is you actually need to think about your business. And this is something most people never get asked to do. One of the things that we talk about, and one of the things I ask members to do, is think of your business like a diamond, a brilliant cut diamond. Now it's interesting, you get a raw diamond with enough power you can break it. It is one of the hardest substances in the world, but it's not indestructible. However, if you cut it into the brilliant cut style, it's got 92 facets. And when it's cut in that format, not only does it create great luster, but it also strengthens the core integrity of that diamond, which means it becomes stronger and near indestructible. And that's why they use it in industrial machines and things all the time. Now, I don't expect businesses to have 92 facets, but unless you identify the facets to your business, you don't know what the core strength of your business is. If you only focus on one element over here and one element over here, your business is lopsided. It has no structural integrity. And that's a good way to think about it. You know, it's a good engineering term, but if you don't structure your business right and understand the things that underpin it and strengthen it for yourself and your customers, guess what? Somewhere along the way, your business can and will fail. And that's something a lot of businesses don't want. We don't start businesses to fail. Finding your facets and identifying them is actually quite crucial. It's something most businesses are never asked, but we ask those questions. And we expect our members to actually do some homework. Now, sure, if you've been in business 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, you might think, well, why would I want to do that? Okay, I've got a better question for you. Two questions, actually. One, do you want to increase your business by a minimum of 20% a year? Short answer to that one is usually yes. Secondly, if you actually understand your business better, you'd probably do better than 20% increase in your business. True? Answer to that one is yes. So if you then start stepping back a little bit, moving away from the production side of your business, i.e. stop working in your business and start working on it, then you have the opportunity to actually ask better questions and relearn some fundamental skills which will rebuild the foundation for your business and make it stronger. So once you identify your facets, because that's step 2, then you need to create a business blast or a pitch or whatever people call it for each and every facet. Now people say, oh yeah, that's too hard. Well, I said, well, no, it's not. If you think about it, firstly, each facet is actually a feature of your business. Now, when most people give a talk or when most people do their pitch, listen to what they're saying. And the fascinating thing is, all you hear are the features of their business. That doesn't sell anybody. That doesn't incite anybody to excitement to want to continue the conversation. But if, on the other hand, you create a pitch for a facet that's actually all about the benefit to you as to why that feature's great, that's a different story. All of a sudden, you can take elements of your business, educate the person you're talking to about an element of accounting that nobody would have ever thought of. And then all of a sudden they go, holy heck, I had no idea you did that. I think we need to talk because nobody's ever explained that to me before. I've never understood that. I've never understood how I can improve my tax position simply by getting some simple tweaks right. And now you're telling me you can do that? That's powerful. Then once we do that, then we go into who is your client? Because now that you've got your facets sorted out, so you know what the features you're going to be talking to, the benefits that are going to explain those features, you need an audience. But you don't just need any audience. If you want to get great value out of what you do, you need to make sure that you're talking to the right people. You're potentially A-type client, or as we call it, avatar. Because once you're talking to the right person, a number of things will happen. One, they're going to be more receptive. Two, they're going to have a similar, if not equal, value system to you, because that value proposition is important. And the other thing is that they become great clients. When they ask a question or if they have a problem, they're just as likely to come up with one or two possible solutions. They will work with you in a partnership. And that's what really good clients do. They will never hassle you for the wrong reasons. They will never waste your time. And oh dear, that really, really interesting one that seems to be missing in a lot of client business relationships, yeah, they'll pay their bills and I'll pay them on time and they won't bitch, whinge or complain about it. Wow. Pretty good to have that kind of client, isn't it? And then, once we've got that rolling and you're getting your pitch right and you're getting your avatar right and you've got the fundamental process working, then we do something really counterintuitive. We get you to stop asking for your avatar or your A-type client. And you might go, that doesn't make sense. But once you start getting it right, the next step is one of the most powerful ones. Because what we then start doing is looking for influencers who can give you those A-type clients coming and going. So you're actually spending time building a relationship with somebody far more powerful than just a client, but somebody that will become like a de facto business partner in a way, where you can help them and they can help you, and you can cross-pollinate with clients and ideas and business, and it happens naturally and organically. Because one thing I've learned over the years, I would rather spend an enormous amount of time building 3 relationships with 3 key influencers than every year trying to build 20 or 30 relationships with potential clients. Because I'll tell you what, one side saves an enormous amount of time and the results are spectacular. The other side, well, it's no different to regular marketing, where you go out, you do your cold calling, make a number of appointments, make a sale, and then you keep doing the cycle all over again. Which is okay if you've got the right type of clients. And yes, eventually they will become potential referrers, influencers for you, etc., and advocates. But finding those influencers as the final step in that whole process is singularly the most powerful thing any business can do, once they get their avatar right and once they get their pitch right.
So if I don't join flow, can I still learn how to do a better business blast?
Sure, actually, that's a question I generally don't get asked. And basically most people wonder, do I have to join flow to improve my pitch, my 60 seconds or whatever you want to call it? Yes, you can. One of the things I've discovered is that it is a critical element to any kind of networking, and every business needs to learn this. So what I've done is I've actually created a full day course just on that, how to improve your pitch, and we spend all day dissecting, looking at your avatar, but dissecting how to do the pitch correctly. And the great thing about it, particularly in the morning, you'll give me your pitch, what you think is your pitch, and I'll keep throwing back at you my version of it. And in that, we'll create the template that's going to work for you to be able to create the right pitch every single time as you develop your business. And we actually have an interesting guarantee for that one too, which I didn't come up with. I will say that. One of my best friends and one of my mentors came up with this, and this is the guarantee. If you do the full day course on how to get your business blast correct, if you get it half right, we guarantee that you'll get 2 to 3 top clients within the first 6 months. And if you don't, we'll happily give you your money back. So think about that. Even if you get it half right, you'll end up getting a spectacular result. Something to think about.